GP, and I am here today with my good friend Zach Sweeney.
Hello everyone, I'm Zach. I'm joined today by Jamie for FRL, so hopefully it's going to be a good one.
I hope so. Last one was a decent race, and hopefully it will repeat the same again in this race. Sweeney's got a few information for you.
So we're here today at the Suzuka International Circuit. It's around about 5.807 kilometers, around about 3.6 miles, 18 turns, and a race lap record of a 1 minute 30.983. Set, of course, no surprises, to Lewis Hamilton in the W10, of course, in the 2019 Japanese Grand Prix. Do you reckon we'll be anywhere near that race lap record today, Jamie?
What was the race lap record again? Sorry.
A 1 minute 30.9.
1 minute 30 point. Yeah, I think we will be for sure. That there towards the end of the race, I reckon. Maybe not in the middle of the race, but I definitely think we could beat it with this year's cars, because I know it's 125, high 125s. I've seen what drivers could do, mid 26s if I'm correct, or low 26s. So I'm expected to beat the race record. Not early part of the race, maybe. You never know, but I think we can definitely beat it today.
Definitely. Well, we've got 18 minutes of qualifying. That gives them a nice chunk of time to get their lap in and done and dusted in the books. So top 10 obviously go through, well, the top 10 that qualify have to start the race on the tyres they set their fastest lap on. It doesn't matter if it's 50 lap old, 20 lap old, you have to start the race if those are the tyres you set your fastest lap on. Anyone else at the top 10, completely free reign, and it looks like we've got a dry qualifying session, Jamie.
Yep, indeed. I prefer it to be dry because in the wet it can be very, very difficult, especially the S's section as well. They call it the figure of 8. It's one of the oldest oldest tracks. Suzuka was commissioned by Honda as a test track in the early 1960s and designed with a unique figure of 8 flow, layout by a Dutchman, interestingly. Suzuka hosted 2 editions of the Japanese Grand Prix in the early 1960s, when the event was run as sports cars, but did establish itself as regular Formula 1 fixture until the late 1980s. Since 1987, Suzuka Circuit has only been absent from the Formula 1 calendar twice, in 2007 and 2008, which I believe was Fuji, if I'm correct.
I believe it was the Fuji circuit, which in itself is a very nice circuit, but you just cannot beat this circuit. The uphill S's, the undulation, the figure of 8, 130, you just can't beat this circuit. Nothing can beat Suzuka, but I do like Fuji. But yeah, this track usually is a driver's favourite, and hopefully we get a nice race put on show for us today. We've got we've got one DRS zone down the pit straight, but yeah, overtaking shouldn't be too difficult of a factor, and hopefully we get put on a good race, and yeah, hopefully weather doesn't play a factor. What sort of strategy do you reckon people are going to be looking for, Jamie?
Well, I know it's judging back from last year's game because I've not really been on this circuit a lot, but I think tyre wear is not too much of a problem around here, so I think it's soft to medium, and likewise the people outside the top 10, mediums to soft, so it should be an easy one stop, I reckon. Hard tyres could be used if people make mistakes early on in the race, which is most likely to happen, especially down at turn 1 going 2-3 wide, which has caused many incidents before, like Leclerc, Verstappen last 2019. So yeah, soft to medium is preferable around this track. On board with Chapelele, he's on his lap through the S section, the championship leader on a mission to try and get some good points again, like he did in the last round. In the Dutch GP, he lagged out, and he came back to win the next race on last week. So look, very nice turning from Degner 1. I thought he'll invalidate it there, but took a lot of curb at the edge, which you're supposed to do. Coming into the hairpin, straight line braking, you want to hook the apex as much as you can and get close to it. Short shifted to reduce wheel spin at the exit. Nice exit from Chapelele. Want to take the tightest line through here to minimise the distance. And now we're coming through Spoon. Seen plenty of incidents here. This could also be an opportunity to overtake. We've seen people do it before, not in just leagues but in real life too, where we saw Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen came to blows in that corner. 2 of my favourite drivers, so it wasn't a good day for me. Middle sector, 9.6. That's a decent middle sector on his first lap already from Chapelele. There's a car ahead of him, a Racing Point. He locks up as he's about to start his lap. And Chapelele then will come across the line to place his car in P1, and it's going to be a 25.9, like I said. So, wow.
For a first lap, that is very, very decent, and a very nice talk through. Rataka goes P2, very close. Goes Ginger and Quicksilver, 2, 3. Oh, and Luke goes fastest, a 9.20. Chapelele with a 9.26. Jules with a 26.2. Very, very close times then up the front. And the people who have set a lap times, very close. So I reckon we're in for a very good qualifying session. Still over halfway to go, and everyone's just on the bank lap times. But if lap times come down, this is very close.
So latest across the line was Safei with a 27.1. Who's just moved up a place? Was it Sem? 25.9 from the Dutchman there. Finley goes up into P6. He missed the race because he had busy things to do last week, but he's back with a P6 and he's ahead of his Ginger teammate. 3,000 separates those two, and we've got like 3 drivers in the 26.3s. It's very close between all of them. 10th can get you up 3 places. Oh, he spins through Dunlop, does the race at point. He was on his out-in lap, so God knows how he's done that. Vapor Kruth on a lap. There is Jeroen Viz. I'm going to go on board with Jeroen Viz because he's next across the line. Let's see where the Dutchman can place his Williams. It's going to be a 26.4. Same with Jer. Separated by 100, those two. Who's just gone up as well? Sahilu, who's gone up to 5th place with a 25.6. So, 1 racing points up there. The other one struggling. 27.1 for him. Symbolics has invalidated his lap time. Obi-Twan's in the gravel, same place as where the racing point spun, and that is Dunlop. I've seen plenty of people spin there. It's flat out that curb, isn't it, Zach?
If you get it right, definitely. But it is very, very easy to mess up, and a lot of people you find either lose the rear end on the curb or just run that little bit wide, clip the grass and just go straight. It's a very tricky corner to get right, and I'm not surprised if we'll see a couple of safety lifts from people today.
He's not enjoying it out there. He went out wide where cover line and went off in 2008. So currently Luke is on provisional ahead of Chapelele, not separated by 6,000. So apologies for the black board there. Somebody invited me to the party when they shouldn't be. I can't see it now. I can. Sem 25.9. So there's 3 drivers on the 25.9. Then comes Jules in Red Bull in 4th place with a 26.2. On board with the racing point, that's in 5th place. Rataka is 6th ahead of Finley. Ginger in 8th ahead of Quicksilver. Jer is on an in lap, and he's done a 26.4, so that's 3 drivers on the 26.4. Jeroen Vizzer also on an in lap. Kaziza on an out lap, so where's Terror Racer? We'll go on board with Kaziza first because he's closer to the line, so one of the 6 drivers that's not set a lap time yet, we're going to go on board with and see how he does in the Alfa Romeo. His teammate is in PA on an out lap. Here we go then. Last race was the Italian GP, by the way. Plenty of things happened there. I was trying to jog my memory a bit because I couldn't quite remember what it was, but now I can. Right then, so on board, you go on, you take it.
Okay, on board with the Alfa Romeo, then chucking it into turn 1 and 2, then braking and at full commitment, 4th gear to get the power down as efficiently as possible into the first S. Just a bit of a caution lift, using the curb on the inside, downshift 1 gear to get the rotation through the next, leaving it in 5th, using the curbs through the infamous uphill S's, on into the run into Dunlop, then getting the power, opening up the corner, running a little bit wide, use the curb, so close to the disaster there, but on the run into the first Egners then, just a bit of a lift, keep it in 7th, use the curb on the inside, he's a purple sector 1 with a 30.9, very nicely Degner 2 as well, 5th gear, 6th gear, up the gears on the run into the hairpin, straight line braking to not lock up, down into 2nd gear, bit of a lock up, use the camber to get the car rotated and get the power very nicely there, use the track on the exit, on the run then, use such a tight line, just shortens the distance through here, very bumpy sector as well, into spoon curve, braking just after the 50, full commitment, 5th gear, chucking it in 4th gear to get the rotation, a little bit drifty from the Alfa Romeo, but pretty hooked up so far for Kazizel on the run then, this back straight into 130 are flat out in these modern day Formula 1 cars, and not really a corner. Again, another purple to sector 2, 1096, very good. He's got
no
on the way. Oh my god, so close to disaster there. Yellow flags through sector 1 and 2. That was so close from the AlphaTauri. Let's see if it hindered Kazizel a lot. No, it did not. A 25.8 and takes provisional pole. The top 4, Jamie, separated by less than a tenth.
Sweet. Terror Racer's on a lap. He's just locked up into the penultimate corner. And let's see where he can place the AlphaTauri. Yellow flags set to 1 and 2, so joint together. 26.3. Goes up into P10. Replaces Quicksilver, who's on a lap. I'm going to go on board with Urian down to P19. Because he's not set a lap time yet. Heading down into turn 1. Locks up into turn 2. I don't really see many lockups into turn 2. Do you, Zach? Is it common to lock up into turn 2?
Well, it is very sort of easy to do your full commitment through turn 1, and you're still turning under brakes, and that's putting a lot of pressure onto the front tyre. So it is easy to do, but not something you often see. Just goes to show how hard this Haas is pushing to hook up the right lap time.
Jurien then ends the first sector with a 31.2. I think mid 30, high 30 is decent, but 31.2, I think it needs a slight improvement. And he comes to Dunlop, no, not Dunlop, the hairpin, sorry. Who's just gone quickest? Chapelele.
25.5. Wow.
Amazing. 3/10 clear of Kazizel. I think Chapelele's on a pad, if I'm correct. I don't think he get used to his wheel. I can't quite remember if it's on a pad or wheel.
Well, if he's on a pad at Suzuka, that is very impressive. A 25.5, 3/10 clear, and he's still got 8 minutes to go and improve his time.
A bit tentative in Spoon there from Yuri. Only used too many steering adjustments through there. We didn't find the correct rhythm. As he comes to the last corner, then let's see where he can place the Haas. He locks up into the corner as well, and let's see where he can go. Urian comes across the line with a 126.4 DP13.
Puts in P13 just on the cusp of the top 10. I'd say Terror Racer, if he can keep it in P11, is probably in the best position of the midfield. Obviously, with the fresh and the free choice of strategy he gets, he's going to have a lot fresher tyres than, say, Finley, Ginger, Quicksilver. He could probably find himself in a pretty high midfield position if he can keep it in P11.
Went on board on a few cars that was supposed to be on the flying lap, but it looks like some backed off because I think they made a mistake or invalidated it. I'm on board with the Racing Point coming out of the hairpin of Sahilu, James in the Racing Point. He comes to Spoon now. Who's that ahead of him? That is Jeroen Visser. Jeroen Visser, like to get out of the way a bit earlier than that. Let's see what his middle sector is like then. Should be a good middle sector, could be a 9. So 9.9, he goes a tenth quicker in the middle sector than his previous best lap. And let's see if he can get inside the top 10 with this lap. He locks up into the chicane. I'll read the comments out soon. Let me just finish this lap. And his lap time will be a 26.2. He stays in P11 and he's a tenth behind Ginger in the pits. Who's on a Quicksilver's back in the pits. Finley is on his end lap. Vaporcruth has invalidated it. Sem is in the pits. Jules, where is he? Coming to the last corner, but he's going to pit anyway because he's running out of fuel. Right, let's see who's on lap. Jay, I'm going to go on board with the Ferrari down in P13. Jay's on a lap, and his middle set is going to be a 10.1. That's not going to put him inside the top 10 because Sahilu's middle sector was a 26 point. It was a 9.9, so this won't put him inside the top 10. And makes his way across the line with a 26.3, like I said. So down in 12th place, he's 1/10 off Sahilu. Ginger's coming out of the pits for another lap. He's just came out, but I'm going to go on board with another driver who's on a lap. Symbolics has not set a lap time yet. He's currently down in P20. So majority of drivers in the pits then. Chapelele is coming on pole, but while no one's giving us entertainment, I'm going to go to the championship standings. I'm going to go on board with Ginger because he's on an out lap. So championship standings, Zach with 14 points clear of Quicksilver, but that will change because Zach has unfortunately left. So TK1 Zach, the French driver who was in this league, he won the last race. Quicksilver second place with 14-point gap to Zach. Should be easy to catch up. Ginger third place, 64 points. He's 4 points clear of Kazizel, his Alfa Romeo teammate. Chapelele in 5th place, 2 DNFs in Italy and the Netherlands. Can't quite remember what happened in Italy. Vaporcruth in 6th ahead of Sem. 5 points is the difference between those two. Sahilu in 8th. He did not start in Italy. Urian in the Haas is 9th ahead of Luke. Finley, Terror Racer. Symbolics is 30th at the Vatica. I thought he had some decent pace on him, but he's not started the first 4 races. He came in on the 5th race. Jay, as Ginger about to start his lap in P15s. Dan in 16th. Mickey Litzy 17th. Jules, expect Jules to be higher up in the field, but he makes mistakes quite a bit. Flynn finisher in 19th at the Mats. So every driver so far has scored points except one driver on the grid, which is Safari down in the last 19th place. So on board with Ginger. Zach, would you like to take us through?
with Ginger. Let me just quickly see what Kaziz was doing. He's 2/10 up on his own time, and Purple coming into the last sector. So if you don't mind, Jamie, just want to see what Kazizel can do, and then we'll go on board with Ginger through the bus stop chicane, then chucking it through, getting the power down. No bump on this game, thankfully. And on the run to the line, shortest line. Is it going to be provisional pole? No, just misses out. It's a 25.554. So close there. But yeah, we can go on board with Ginger.
For some reason, he's backed out of it. I did see no, he hasn't. He's just, I don't know if he's turned his ERS, saving ERS in the hairpin. So I think Ginger's still going for a lap. He was a 10th up in the first sector, so I think he was just turning it off to save it.
Well, let's see what he can do as he rounds spoon curve a little bit wide there. Using the most of his ERS. Probably wants a really punchy last sector because you do need to use a lot of ERS. Let's see if he's up on his time into sector 2. Matches it. So is he on an outlap or something of the sort? Or is he just completely dead on equal with his previous lap?
I don't know, mate. I think he's definitely on a flying lap. Oh, he's in the pits. He's not happy with that lap time.
No, potentially. He's got 3 minutes left. Maybe he just wants to dart it in, put a new set of soft tyres on and go again because, yeah, they've run out of time. If they pit now, they're going to have just enough time for one more, maybe 2 more flying laps. And Symbolics has gravelled it at the hairpin, probably just trying to get out of the way of a few people. Yeah,
on board with Sam, coming to the last 2 corners, takes it. Oh, he's backed off of it. He did improve in the middle sets, but like Zach said, might be going to the pits for one more run because he's got one more run left. Oh, who's that on the gravel? That's a Renault again. I think that's Symbolics, like you said. Jules on a lap then, coming into Spoon. Has a slight lock up, but that won't affect him too much. Short shifting a lot, I can see, and using the exit curb. As we approach the middle sector, what's it going to be from Jules? A 9.5. He's 2/10 up in the middle sector. Where is he? He's currently P4. 2/10 could put him into P3 unless he could find more time in the last sector. Coming to the final 2 corners.
Quicksilver with a very good time, 25.6. Ratica as well goes up. Jules across the line. It's P4. So close at the front, JB.
Exactly. I expected this because this was so close again last week in Monza too. I wonder how this race is going to plan out because I can see Urian on an outlap. Where's Kyle? I haven't spoke about Kyle yet. He's 1/10 up in the middle sector. Let's see where he can place his Mercedes. Who's that ahead of him? That's Obi-Twan getting out of the way. Obi-Twan under pressure here. I think he's got one more lap left to try and do something about it, get himself above P19. And Kyle comes across the line with a 26.1, and Symbolics has retired in P11. Kazizel's retired, so he's not going to be on pole. His only hopes is people don't push him down. Where's Quicksilver? He's on the track. Yeah, I don't think he's on a lap because he's just finished it. Nope, that's qualifying over for Quicksilver, so he'll start P3 unless he gets knocked down by competitors around him. Probably FRL Luke. Let's see what he's doing in P6. He's not on a lap. He's got to start one soon. He's not on an out lap, so it tells me he made a mistake on that first run and he backed out of it. Just saved his ERS. Jeroen Visser in the middle sector. It's a 10.2. He's a few hundreds down in the middle sector, so he needs to improve that. And we've got a Ferrari ahead of us. That's Jer, and Jer is on the out lap. So Jeroen Visser then to the final corner. Let's see who we can place. Williams as he comes across the line. It's P16. That's unfortunate for Jer. P17 for Jeroen Visser.
His teammate, though, sorry to jump in, Jamie, is currently 3/10 up on his time, I'm pretty sure I saw, in the first sector. So this is looking like a pretty hooked up lap from Chapelele to try and defend that pole position. We've got Jules, who's setting up his last lap. And looking to go again, maybe strike for pole. He only needs 2/10. Let's see what Chapelele then. Through pole, Vapor out of nowhere, 25.3 to take a provisional pole position. That's a great time then. And out of nowhere, Vapor puts it on a provisional pole. Let's see if Chapelele can improve. Yes, he is. He's 2/10 up. He needs a nice hooked up final sector. This is going to be his final flying lap. The checker flag is out. Through into the bus stop then. Bit of a lock up. Pushing so hard. Can he topple the Red Bull to pole position? Through the final corner then. Is it going to be a pole position across the line? He takes pole. So close. And Vapor's knocked down to second. Can Jules do anything about it? No. Can Rakataka do anything about it? No. He's only a little bit up on his time. We'll stay on board and see if he can do anything about it. But Chapelele, he's invalidated. So it looks as though Chapelele, with a great pole time of the 25.3, is going to be your pole sitter for today's Japanese Grand Prix.
We've got Luke, Sam and Finley on a lap. I'm on board with Luke first. He's closer to the line than the other three. 1/10 up, 1/10 up, no, down in the middle sector, so looks like he's not improved on his own personal best, so see what he could do towards the last 2 corners where he could still gain time. But twitchy coming out of there, and is not an improvement sadly for him. Where's Finley then? I did see Sem improve in the middle sector. Finley, P7, where is Sem? There he is. He's slightly down in the middle sector, he was 1/10 up, but he's lost a little bit of time in the middle sector, so let's see what he can do with the third one. Where can the Dutchman go? He's P8 currently. Can he improve on that 125.9? Yes, he can. P6 from the Dutchman. What about Mats and Obitwan? Mats has finished his lap, he's run out of fuel, and Jurian hasn't improved. So Chapelele, like I expected him to be, is on pole, but only just ahead of Vapor. Kizizo in third place. A good performance from Kizizo again. Quicksilver in P4, so good job from him. Jules in P5 ahead of Sem. Ratica in P7. Finley in P8. Luke in P9 and Sahilu in P10. That's your top 10. Outside the top 10, unexpected from Terra Racer. He's usually up there in the top 10. Maybe not his track. Symbolics in P12 and Ginger as well. Not where I expect Ginger to be, down in P13. He's usually up there challenging for pole, but he's on pad, so I expect him to be a little bit slower compared to others. But saying that though, Quicksilver's on pad 2. Maybe he just likes the track better than Ginger. Cal in P14 ahead of Jer. The 2 Hasses down in P16 to 17. Jarud Vizza in P18 ahead of Obitwan and Safei, who did not improve his first lap. So there it is then. That is qualifying done for you, and we'll move on to the race.
Well, I have to say, that was a very exciting qualifying session. Very, very close. Just over half a tenth separate pole and second place, and overall it's such a close grid. And as is normally the case with racing, that little bit extra, like for the case of Ginger or a Terra Racer, like all it took was just that maybe breaking that little bit later, turning in that little bit later, whatever it was that cost them that little half a tenth of a second. It's so close, and it cost you, what was it, about 1.5 seconds separated first to the last on the grid. So close at this field, and I'm sure we're in for a great race, Jamie.
Hope so too. While the formation lap is on, I'm going to grab a glass of water, which I should have done before, but I'll see in a few moments' time.
If not, I'll take the lights. Yeah, right. So, while Jamie's not here, and we're waiting for everyone to finalise the setups. They've got Park Fairway to deal with, so they can't really do much. They can edit the front rings a little bit, maybe. I think they can edit the tyre pressures as well. Finalising that, the strategy, what strategy they're going to do. Be interesting to see what F1 Insights brings us, and what fuel they're going to use. Do they go a little bit less, try and conserve that a little bit more in the first stint? But they've only got 8 seconds to do so. People are readying up and will be taken around the formation lap by your poleman Chapelele, joined on the front row by the Red Bull of Vapor. Is that Knuth, whatever. But yeah, so we're getting ready for the formation lap here at the Japanese Grand Prix. And it's looking to be a very, very spicy race. Very close grid. Looks like everyone's going to be pretty feisty. Looks like we've got Jamie back finally. But yeah, let's have a little look-see at what tyres everyone's on. It looks like everyone in the top 10 have opted for the soft tyres. Terra Racer, Symbolics, Ginger, everyone outside the top 10, apart from Jerome, have gone for the medium compound of tyres. So, half the grid on softs, half of them on mediums, and one person on hards. This could be a bit of a strategy war between the mediums and the softs. Ooh, Chapelele almost spinning before the race had even started.
Yeah, Chapelele known for bottling, but hopefully he doesn't bottle this time. We know he's a quick driver, but sometimes he can make mistakes now and then. A bit like me.
Well, very much like you.
Jeroen Visser on the hards, like you said. How do you think his race will plan out?
Well, I mean, he's probably hoping... well, he knows more about the weather than we do. Maybe there's going to be more overcast towards the end. He wants to hang out for the rain. Anything. He could be hanging out for a late safety car that could, he could stay out, get a massive overcut on everyone else. Obviously, the overcut is where you go laps later, have the fresher tyres towards the end of the race. And, Jerome could do that. He could be hoping for a late safety car towards maybe lap 18 of the race and go for a soft, quick stint. The predicted pit stop strategy, though, softs to hards, pitting around about lap 8 to 10, or a 2-stop soft, medium, pitting around lap 8 and then lap 18. So, F1 Insights powered by AWS. Very interesting strategy there, and probably we'll see most of the grid be doing a 1-stop, maybe a 2-stop if they're not confident on the strategy.
Kuhn says Jeroen Visser is on a go-to strategy. And let's see, Kuhn, because I bet it was you who told him to go to the hard tyres, wasn't it, Kuhn? Kuhn being Jeroen's friend. How is Tier 2 doing, Kuhn? Did you have a good race? Well, you commented this early, so that means you crashed, don't you?
Well, Chapelele's lining up on the grid in that pole position, waiting for everyone else to round the grid. I'll let you take the lights, Jamie, if you want to. I'll follow your lead. You take the lights.
Alright, mate. Right, so all the drivers landing up there, and Kyle was at last. Maybe he backed off to get the tyre temperature. Alright then, so not really the camera I want to see. Not really a clear view. It's going to be an interesting one. I know Chapelele could sometimes have bad starts or poor starts, but can he get away the line off well? He's in an ideal place to get off the line. And we are underway for round 7 of the Japanese Grand Prix. Has that Red Bull got a good start? Looks like he has. He's alongside Chapelele. The McLarens are fighting now. There's an AlphaTauri on the grass. We head down into turn 1. Chapelele has the outside line. He takes first place. He stays in first place. Kizilzo in P3, so Vapor Kruth. And we saw the 2 McLarens fighting. Jules has split the 2 McLarens as well. So Sem has pushed down into 6th place with Sahilu. Finley's down in 8th place. I think Finley's gained a few places, but Luke has dropped outside the top 10. He's down in P13. There's a squabble in the midfield with Jeroen and Kyle. They go side by side through Dunlop. We don't see people go side by side through there, but it's still side by side now as we head to Degner 1. But Jeroen has stayed ahead, but Timmons go down the inside and he pushes Mercedes off the track as well. He had no choice to go off but to go off the track, so he's down in P19. That's an optimistic move from Melts there, and Kyle won't be happy with that one. I didn't expect him to go down the inside like that. Ginger's got a better exit compared to the AlphaTauri coming out of the hairpin. They go side by side, but eventually one of them have to back off into Spoon. And Terror Racer stays ahead of Ginger, so I think Ginger thought that one out. But Chapelele maintains his lead ahead of Kruth. Looks like Kruth was going to challenge him into turn 1 and turn 2, but Chapelele had the advantage around the outside and kept his lead. Kizizzo stays in 3rd place. Quicksilver in 4th ahead of Jules. We saw the 2 McLarens fight. One of the AlphaTauris won the grass there, but it looks like there's no AlphaTauri in the top 2. Oh, Raticas and Terror Racer. We're going to have to find out which one it was. Oh, he almost hits the back of him as well. Ginger hits the back of... There's a bit of Renault front wing damage. Symbolics hit the back of Ginger. Ginger hit the back of Terror Racer. And he's been pushed down as Terror Racer. Where is Terror Racer? I can't find him now. He's in the pits. One of them's in the pits. Who is it? It's 2 of them. Luke and Symbolics. And here comes Jurian on the Ferrari. Down the inside he goes into turn 1. It's early overtakers. Luke has retired from the session, unfortunately. And Symbolics is on the hard compound tyres then, Zach.
Well, yeah, so he's had a pretty poor start, decided to come in, obviously picked up some damage. Looks like we've just got a bit of a dirty air train. Luke obviously just decided to call it a day, pack it up in the pits. So not the start the Ferrari driver wanted. We've got a bit of a timing error, but a very chaotic start then, and a lot of action early on. Looks like these guys are really eager to get it in gear and get going. Set yellow flags for sector 1 still. Is that still yellow flags?
It's Symbolics.
It is literally just a 1-by-1 train. It looks like everyone's just following suit and trying to conserve the ERS. The fight for the podium is separated by a few tenths into Spoon, trying to send it and get into that podium places, because Zizzle lost out, but that's not Symbolics in first, no. It's still Chapelele in first, but yeah, looks like we'll see a bit of field spread in a moment. Is that Obi-Twan trying to get onto the back of the racing point? Yeah, there we go. Timing has fixed itself now. We've got one more corner until DRS, obviously the rear wing flap opening to give him that extra 20 kph of speed down this pit straight. He's going to be trying to use that to full effect on this next lap, because Zizzle then in the slipstream is probably in the worst position of the front 3 as he has to try and get his way past Vapor, but Vapor's got the DRS to defend with, obviously from the race leader of Chapelele, but Zizzle's so close to the back of that Red Bull, and yeah, it just looks like they're going to be following suit and looking for that opportunity now with DRS, Jamie.
Yep, I was just looking at Vapor. He was right at the back of Chapelele in the last corner. Along with Kazizzo, sorry, the Englishman down in 3rd place, following Vapor, and Chapelele. Quicksilver's also there. Like you said, it's going to be a DRS train as well. The timing finally sorted itself out. We saw Symbolics in P1 there, which he wasn't. Chapelele there, looks like he struggled with in Degda 2, went a bit wide, and that's allowing Vapor to come closer to him. You'll have the DRS on the next lap, well, after the last corner. He's very close to him, as Jeroen Visser has made his way past Kyle, who's made a mistake without Degna 2. I think he dipped a wheel in the grass there, or the gravel, and it's going bad to worse for him. Sadly for him. Sam's on the back of Jules as well, with the Racing Point intact, so it's all close between the top 10. So Terra Racer is the highest hot media runner, down to P10, and we saw Luke retire early in the session. I did think there was a bit of a trade effect into the last corner, with Ginger hitting somebody, Symbolics hitting somebody, and Luke hitting somebody too. Look at him, he's all over the back, is the Red Bull, and Kazista's all over the back of the Red Bull, so he didn't look hungry to try and get past Chapelele, but it's quite hard around this track. Suhilo sets the fastest lap of the race in P7 as we head down into Turn 1. No overtakes yet so far. It's easy to make mistakes around this track. We've got Jay behind Urian for P12, and just in that massive DRS trade, waiting for the perfect opportunity. Looks like Vapor's going to have to try and force Chapelele into an error.
Probably, yeah. It is difficult to overtake, obviously, in this DRS trade. He's only got one DRS trade to benefit off. He's got a lot of ERS. They've all got pretty much equal ERS, so he doesn't really have that advantage in that factor. He just really wants to show it and put Chapelele under that little bit of pressure. As you saw Chapelele going a little bit deep into the hairpin, man, and get the drive out of the corner. But yeah, and try and capitalise off Chapelele's mistakes if there is any. But so far, he's making good use of it. Quicksilver and Karen, his teammate, will join in the battle as well. This is a 5-car train for the lead of the race, Jamie.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, that DRS trade just dragging him along. It's also dragging the media runners along as well, because Terra Race is on the DRS on the back of his teammate, bringing Ginger along with him. So I think Ginger did escape with no front wing damage, fortunately for him, because last week, I didn't catch this on stream, he did have a bit of front wing damage off of a medium starter runner. He pitted, then he had a medium runner in front of him, and the medium runner made a mistake, and Ginger unfortunately hit him. It's neither of their faults, but Ginger sadly was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was challenging for the lead, and it all went terrible. So luckily he escaped with no front wing damage. But Luke and I think Renault had a bit of front wing damage, because they both came to the pits on the same lap, as I saw them hit the back of each other. So let's see what Terra Race is doing down in P10 then. Well, what's it going to be between the two Alpha Taras? Are they going to work together? Because they are both different strategies. We've also got Ginger down there in P11 as well. They've got a bit of gap between P11 and P12. That's the biggest gap so far, isn't it? It's that between P11 and P12.
Yeah, well, it is so crucial to stay in the DRS, because otherwise you're just trying to eke out that DRS to get back into him. But Terra and the two Alpha, he lost the DRS though, he's just fallen out of it. The wise thing for Terra Racer to do would have just been to stick with his teammate who's on the softs and make his behind for him, punch his way through the field and bring Terra Racer with him. But so far on the mediums, he's not doing too bad of a job, eking up 30% already, Jamie.
Oh, I think we've got an overtake coming between Jay and Urian. These two were fighting throughout the whole race in the Netherlands and a bit in Italy as well. As they go around the outside into 130R, a neat move around the outside from Jay. Yeah, better slipstream, better exit quit out of Spoon did Jay, and he made his way through. And he's up into P12. Can he close the gap to Ginger? That gap is 2.1 now, and he needs to get himself in a DRS train. Looks like he's already pulling away from Urian, but Urian has the DRS. As Vapor Kruth is getting closer and closer to Chapelele, but he's too far back to make any move, sadly for him. But he's got the ERS, a little bit more ERS compared to Chapelele, but where's the best opportunity? Is the best opportunity to try and undercut him? Too early in the race.
It just looks as though Vapor's sitting behind. I was on board with him down the pit straight. He wasn't using his overtake button, possibly just wanting to sit back behind, chill in the ERS of Chapelele, not, wear his tyres out, and just sort of work with him in these earlier stages of the race. And Quicksilver very deep though, the McLaren off the track. He's gone straight on at the hairpin. He's going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions down into P9. He just went straight on at the hairpin. Complete and utter straight understeer, found himself on the gravel. He's down into P9, so that is the first biggest mistake of this race, and that has left Jules with no ERS or DRS to try and get onto the back as Kazizzle. But that could have big implications into this DRS train unless Jules can get his way into the DRS. But yeah, back to Vapor. It just looks as though he's trying to work with Chapelele and maybe play it the long game. Maybe just work for an attack, we'll say, on board with him down this pit straight, see if he launches an attack. You can see Chapelele just gets such a good run off that final corner. But yeah, none of these top three really using their overtake button, so probably, yeah, just working together. Further back is that Quicksilver into the pits, may have sustained a bit of damage. Let's see how he plays the strategy. That promotes Ginger into the top 10, so good showing for the Alfa Romeo. But yeah, it looks like everyone is just holding station for the time being, Jamie.
So it looks like a scheduled pit stop for Quicksilver because he did not change his full wing. I think the soft tyres had enough because I think they were overheated, had full of gravel. So best way for him to pit, because there's no point staying in the DRS train on the soft compound tyres in between medium runners. So I think that was the best way to. And he's currently down in P18 on a brand new set of mediums. He's got Carl ahead of him, 9.3 seconds. So can he do the undercut on those soft runners? But he will have a bit of traffic ahead of him to assist, which he might hold up his progress, as Kazizel so close behind Vapor. So Jules is just in about the DRS range. In fact, he is in the DRS range, but the problem for him, he hasn't got any ERS to play with, unlike the top three who just saved a lot of ERS. So Jules is on a downfall there on his ERS, and he's got Seb behind him too. He's got more ERS compared to him, the double amount of ERS.
Let's see if Sem's going to go for a move. It could be within his best interest. I mean, Jules at this stage, if I was Jules personally, he's now out of the DRS, and if I was Sem, this is now my chance to attack. I'm thinking I'm going to try and set up a good exit. He doesn't get the car B into the second part of the bus stop though. He's got the ERS to attack. Let's see if he can. Has Jules got DRS? No, he hasn't got the drag reduction system. Sem then, is he close enough to the inside? DRS open. Is he going to go for the Red Bull? Not quite. It's probably a wise move not to go for that into turn one, but now he's stuck behind the Red Bull. He's just going to be losing time to the leaders, and Jules just tried to get inside that DRS with his ERS. Kazizel very wide. Johan picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, but Kazizel looks like the bottle lid's open.
Yeah, the reason why Urian got a 3-second time penalty because he went very deep into turn 1 and turn 2 together, so the game classed it as exceeding track limits. He just made a mistake coming out of turn 1 and turn 2, so that was rather harsh for him to get a penalty because he didn't gain anything, but he lost a lot of time to Jer, and so that's really unlucky for him. So he's going to have to recompose himself and try and get back in the DRS range of. Safai's got a 3-second time penalty. Try and get himself back in the DRS range of Jer. He locks up into the hairpin. And what I was going to talk about down that straight, but Sam can see Quicksilver's got a 3-second time penalty down in P18. He's gaining time on Kyle. He's gained 2 seconds out of him in the past few laps. What I was going to say about Sam, he knows that Jules is running out of EOS because he can see the flashing light on the back of the Red Bull. Not now, but in a few moments' time. He's not using any EOS, so it could be down the straight where he flashes the light. But Sam saw it on the previous lap, so he knows that Jules is running out of EOS. So he's going to have to go for it, knowing that he's vulnerable down that straight with no extra power to his disposal. Looks like he's going to... No, he's not. He's going to go in the pits, is Jules. So he's the first one to pit out of the top... I'll say in the actual race, because Quicksilver... It wasn't really a scheduled pit stop. He's the first one in that train to pit. As let's see where he rejoins them. Will he come out in between medium runners as Ratica? Terror Race has overtaken his teammate. So Terror Racer, the highest medium runner, is up into P6 and he's disposed Ratica, and he's got Ginger. He's got himself in a car in between Ginger as well. Oh, who's that? That's Jer making a mistake into the yes section. But where has Jules rejoined? He's rejoined ahead of Quicksilver. Quicksilver was a few seconds back of Jules, so that could tell me that Quicksilver's been pushing really hard. And it looks like they are going to have to pit soon, because if they don't, they could rejoin behind Quicksilver. After that mistake he made in a few laps ago. And Ginger all over the back of Ratica. He's really holding him up here. He needs to get past him as quick as possible so he can continue his fight to Terror Racer down in P6.
Does look as though we are at that crossover point, Jamie, between the soft and the mediums. These softs are now 8 laps old, and I can see just on the telemetry that Chapelele and Kazizel both have green spanners on their HUD, so that probably indicates that they're blue. That indicates they're in for a scheduled pit stop pretty soon, and I don't blame them. Those soft tyres must be screaming for help. Is Ginger going to lick it, stick it, send it up the inside?
Oh, that was a late call, wasn't it? That was a late move from one of the Alfa Romeos. It's got to be Kazizel, because Kazizel almost hit the pit lane entry. So Vapor has decided to stay out there. Does he think that he's going to rejoin in traffic? That's his best hope. Where's Quicksilver in all of this? Quicksilver's on some good pace at the moment. Where is he? He's coming down too far back, but we'll find out. He's now coming down the straight. Where's he going to rejoin in all of this? Chapelele rejoins in P11, and there they are coming out of the pits. He's got Quicksilver's got ahead of Sem, and Jules has not got ahead of Kazizzle. Kazizzle is safe. One more lap, and Jules would have overtaken Kazizzle, so that's really fortunate for him not to be undercut from Jules. So Quicksilver's got ahead of his teammate, and the two Dutchmen in McLaren, my former team when I used to race in Tier 1. Finley's down in P16, he was also another soft runner. So he looks like the hard compound tyres. Was that a mistake, or did he just think that the tyres aren't going to make it? So the medium runners will take over soon, which is Terror Racer. He's got a 6.8 second gap ahead behind Vapor, and looks like Ginger's caught quickly to Terror Racer, because he did spend a lap behind his teammate, Terror Racer's teammate, and Kyle then. I think he's been overtaken by Chapelele, and that was an important move, because if he didn't do that, we'll get held up behind Kyle, and that will allow Vapor to do the overcut on him. Into the pits comes Vapor. One more lap and he'll definitely be overtaken by him. Locks up into the pits. So the medium runners will take over, which is Terror Racer and Ginger and Jer and Urian. So Urian has caught up to Jer despite making a few mistakes in the race. Mats is also there down in P6. There's a Renault is about to overtake Safai, and he's done it, but with the lack of ERS down the straight, so we have to do some ERS saving. Is Obituan. And where is Chapelele? Where's he going to rejoin? He's well ahead of Vapor. What about the other one? Kyle. Ooh, he almost went around the outside of Vapor. So Vapor then looks like he's going to have to fight this on track. This is going to go down to the wire, Zach.
Yeah, definitely could. Chapelele then making those crucial moves.
Ooh, side by side. Well, they did go side by side, but Sem, because he's got ahead of Quicksilver in the S's. Quicksilver made a mistake in the S's. That's allowed his Dutch teammate to get through, and Sem is up into P14.
Crucial move for Kazizzle to make. He's caught up to Kyle, probably in the wrong point. Allow Jules to maybe get an opportunity and strike.
Oh, Renault off the track.
Kazizzle, and there's a Renault off the track.
It's Obi-Twan.
Obi-Twan off the track further. But yeah, side by side, Kyle. This is a move for Kazizzle to make. He needs to do this now, otherwise the Red Bull bit of contact, the Mercedes onto the grass, and he's got the move done, and this has allowed Jules to catch up and potentially launch an attack on the medium runner who's on 10 lap old mediums. Not the best situation, but yeah, good moves from Chapelele, who's on the fresher medium tyres and on a charge. He's back into the DRS, but he's used up a lot of ERS, so in that in-lap he was hoping Chapelele would have got caught up in a bit of traffic, but Chapelele,
sorry to interrupt. Down the inside goes Sem. It's a crucial move, and he's done it. A good move from Sem down the inside of the last corner. Cal's vulnerable to Quicksilver now because Sem was fighting Jules before the pit stop, so that was crucial for Sem to that move as quick as he could. And Quicksilver has got past Cal. Urian on the soft compound tyres with 15 laps to go. Can they make it to the end? I don't know. Chapelele's got. Obi-Twan's just off the track again. Not really enjoying this Japanese circuit.
Yeah, it looks like these medium tyres are screaming for help. Kazizzle with an opportunistic move around the outside. There's contact. Obi-Twan tried to hold it, and there's contact further back as he collected the McLarens with him. It doesn't look so, but he's managing to recover.
Racing Point's got off the track. That's Safai in the same place he did at qualifying. Meanwhile, there's been a switch and change of position. Quicksilver has repassed his teammate while all the shenanigans was happening before Dunlop. Quicksilver took the opportunity to overtake his teammate, and now he's got Jules ahead of him. And there's more yellow flags going on in the middle first set, so that is Safai again. He's not really enjoying this track, is he?
No, not at all. It looks like his tyres are screaming for help. Well, it's probably hard to get them up to temperature. Chapelele on the back of Jerome for P5. This is a crucial move to make on his teammate. Hopefully he won't make it too difficult for him. It looks like he is, and hopefully the Williams teammate tries to hold up the Red Bull of Vapor, who needs to get past pretty soon. Chapelele clearing the traffic really well on these fresh medium tyres. Terror Racer and Co-op at the front, running a pretty nice consistent race up in front, but Vapor all over the back of Jerome. This is a crucial move for him to make. DRS open, he goes purple, he's a 29.3, breaks the lap record by a landslide, but into turn one, can he to squeeze up the inside? The Williams gives him just enough room, forces him to the outside, still up by side they go, but Vapor with the fresh tyres claims the racing line and up into P6 all over the back of Chapelele. Then crucial.
That was perfect for Jerome Visser and Chapelele because he made Vapor Cruz use majority of his ERS down that straight, because Jeroen Visser played it smart. He made him almost run out of ERS, and Chapelele has managed to save some down the straight because he knew that Jeroen and Vapor wouldn't be able to overtake him. So that was quite smart from Jeroen to fight hard with the Red Bull and use a lot of his ERS. So the Red Bull had to use a lot of his ERS. But meanwhile, got an interesting battle between Jules, Quicksilver, Sem. Oh, Racing Point has gone down the inside and he's overtaken Kyle for P13. Kyle is struggling on those old medium tyres, but what McLaren's going to do, they're stuck behind Jules, and Jules is running out of ERS and ideas as well to keep those two behind. Is it ideal for Quicksilver to stay ahead because Sem's on a better set of tyres compared to Quicksilver? Only by 3 laps, but 3 laps can make a difference in this game at least. What happens? Where's Ginger? So those two are still leading. Ginger, a few laps before, got a 3-second time penalty for scenic track limits, and Urian has overtaken Obi-Wan but used a lot of his ERS, so he ain't got much in his disposal left. What's happening further down? Looks like Quicksilver's used a lot of his ERS as well. Sem's managed to save some, so don't know if those two are in a party or not. I don't think they will be because they're in an VER party, sorry. So I don't think Sem will be in the party, but if he was, I think he'd be telling him that he's got more ERS and better tyres, so he can get past him and get ahead of Jules, because he was on the back of Jules before he did make his pit stop, but Obi-Wan spitted and caused a road blockage, has allowed Quicksilver to overtake Sem. And Sem will not be happy with that one.
No, it looks like McLaren. Well, as is the case normally with a lot of circuits on Formula 1, like you can drive up to people further up though, because Sizzle over the back of Jeroen in the Williams, he's not going to be making it easy either for the Alfa Romeo. But as you say, Jamie, Sem is quicker at this stage in the race, and Quicksilver, to prove he's worthy of staying in front, needs to launch an attack. But Jamie, clouds above, they're glooming over. Could we see some rain?
I was going to mention that, you know. Last lap I did see the clouds, and I was like, is it going to rain? I didn't want to mention it. And while you were talking, Kizizo, Jeroen Visser let Kizizo pass. He didn't even put much of a fight up to him, so I did think Jeroen wants to run his own race and not get involved in too many battles. On the hard compound tyres, he knew he had to give it up because he was on the better tyres. But like you said, Zach, the clouds above could indicate. So is that why Urian went on the set of soft compound tyres? Was that smart to do that? Raticat on the back of Sahelu, and it's going to be an easy move, and he's up into P13. Blast past the Racing Point with ease, and Quicksilver looming all over the back as Obi-Wan's in the pits. 5 seconds time penalty has been awarded to him for speeding in the pits. Quicksilver all over the back of Jules. He's bringing along Sem and Finley with him too.
Well, yeah, he's trying to get past his team, hopefully, but if there's some rain, this could explain why the medium runners have been staying out so long. The top 4, all staying out. Probably could be some rain, and they're waiting for it. There we are, we see the first splashes of rain. The rain, it has come, and on the HUD of this McLaren, you can see this race has just got a ton and a lot more interesting, Jamie. This could spice up a trigger of a lot of pit stops and play very well. Ginger and Jer all in the top 3. This could get really interesting really quickly.
Oh, here comes Chapelele and Matt.
Back to 130. Bold move to make around the outside, and to make, and it looks like Vapor. Bit of ground to back up inside, maybe no. But be looking to try and get accustomed to this. First wave of pit stops. As soon as DRS has been disabled, that's probably a good indication that the track is wet enough. But the rain has definitely come in. Vapor up the inside into turn 1. Lick it, stick it, send it. Just up the inside, sticking his nose in. The has given just enough room. Forced out to the outside, up the inside into the next bit. The S is no, not quite. So he claims that. Good move for him to make as he for the net race lead. Well, not even maybe the net race lead. Now the top 3 could stay as the top 3.
Well, I was going to say that Chapelele is 4 seconds behind Jer, and those, if it is going to rain heavily, those medium runners are going to be careful, the top 3, because they're on an old set, compared to Chapelele, who's 10 laps younger, so they've got to be careful when they're driving around on track, because it'll be more slippery for them on the older rubber. So they've got to be careful, and Chapelele might have an advantage now when it starts to get damper and damper. He might have to close up as much as he can before it goes to the intermediates, as Cal's left the session. He's P15. We probably saw the rain and thought, nah.
Probably just got scared, didn't want to Didn't want to embarrass himself potentially, or just a disconnection. We never know.
Yeah, really joking, Carl, if you could hear us.
Yeah, we love you really. But Quicksilver all over the back of Jules. Can he try and set up an attack? He's got his teammate eager to try and get past. Carl's back. He's not scared of the rain. But yeah, when is DRS going to be disabled? Obviously, the stewards have the control when they think that the rain is getting a bit too tough, and obviously you don't want to be having 20 extra kbh into a corner when there's no grip. You can see how much they're having to skate around under power. But Jules and Quicksilver, one by one they go, and then onto the back straight. This is an important move for everyone to take up. We're going to power past this Williams to the inside.
Oh, here comes Quicksilver.
Quicksilver up the inside as well. Can he get the Red Bull? No, but he's managed to follow him through on the Williams. Great racecraft shown by Quicksilver there. He's now got a car between him and his teammate, and he's all over the back of Jules. Very good move and very clever racecraft. And Vapor is of Chapelele for the net. Well,
those soft. If it's going to stay like this, sorry if you're talking, is that you were just lagging a bit, but are you talking still?
No, carry on.
Oh, I'm just thinking, if the rain stays like this and not gets any heavier, I can see it staying like this. Those soft runners are going to have an advantage because they're going to be on brand new heated soft tyres.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot easier because Sizzle on the inside of Tim Matt into the hairpin, just about managing to get it stopped and not shake on the exit. But
there comes the beast.
Jamie, as you say though, oh sorry.
Sorry, here comes the beast. They go side by side. Jeroen Vizzer versus Seb, and Seb has muscled his way past Jeroen Vizzer into Spoon. Your turn, Zach.
Well, just going to comment on what you said. Those soft tyres are going to be a lot easier to warm up than the hard tyres. This is probably why the Williams is because the harder rubber on the hard tyre definitely costing them a lot of time because you really do need to get your tyres into a nice temperature window. It looks like Ginger's into this for a fresh set of slick tyres. A bit of a quick shower. It's going to stay like this and then get a bit driver. Quicksilver maybe inside the Jules into turn 1, not quite managing to get his way through turn 2 though, but and maybe as you say, Jamie, it's not going to get much worse than this.
I could just see it stay like this because it would have got worse, a little bit worse by now. So if it's just a quick shower, then where is Ginger? He's down in P15. I can't see the gaps because they just disappeared from me, so I'm going to have to figure out the gaps as they cross the line. So Quicksilver then still frustrated. That'll be a warning for exceeding track limits from Quicksilver. So another 2 or 1, depending on how much he's got. He'll get a penalty for it. Chapelele then currently down in P5. I wonder who's the best out of these two for the wet weather conditions, because Cruz has caught up to Chapelele. He's in his I can just estimate that he's in his DRS range without seeing the gaps, and Chapelele is definitely in the DRS range of Jer. So looks like Vapor's gonna have to one more lap or something behind Chapelele getting the DRS of Jer. Jer I think will probably pick this lap because he is fighting Ginger and Co behind. Terror Racer will probably pick because he's fighting Ginger as well. He's the net race leader. And does he pick this lap? No, he doesn't. He stays out. What about Jer? Is he going to pick this lap? Yes, he does. So Chapelele has been released, but he's got DRS to cover himself from Cruz behind. Oh, contact has been made by Jules. Quicksilver has got past. Basically, I think he got confused because Mats was in the pits as Jer's on the intermediate tyres. Is it getting worse? Quicksilver has passed Jules. So what I saw for a brief moment was those two tangling. It was Jules and Mats tangling because I think he didn't know he was going to come into the pits, and that allowed Quicksilver just to sneak through. And Jer, Mats on the intermediates, you know. Well, let's go on board with Jer. Looks he'd had a lock up into turn 2. A bit twitchy coming out of turn 2 as well. Turn 3, sorry, I think it's turn 2 or turn 3.
Doesn't look as if there's enough standing water on the track to keep those intermediates cool enough to stay in the temperature window.
Was it the right decision? We've got 2 people on the intermediates. We'll find out if he does catch Ginger because the gap's going up to Jer and Ginger. I don't think it's the right time. Look at Jeroen Vizzer just swoops past Mats. So I think it's the wrong decision. I think, and here comes Ginger on Urian, sorry. And there he is then. Easy move from the Ginger, who's on a brand new set of softs. 3 seconds is the gap between Sahilu. It's going to be easy to catch up because Sahilu's on the hardcore power tyres. So he's going to be quite vulnerable when Ginger gets there. But if... yellow flags is set to 2. Is that... it's Matt's. I think his race could be over because he's Tow Racer's in the pits. And Vapor's caught up to Chapelele. It is DRS race, so the race is not over yet. This could be very interesting. And P3 goes Quicksilver. After making that mistake in the race, but he's got to pull a 3-second gap over Jules because he has got a 3-second time penalty to his name. Sem then looked desperately trying to get past Jules. He's been stuck behind him the whole race. It looked like he was about to overtake him in the early parts, but couldn't quite do it as... Oh, Jay gets a 10-second time penalty. The race is definitely ruined now. Tow Racer rejoins behind Ginger, so Ginger has done the undercut as Jay has retired then. I think he knows his race is over, and that's a shame. Is he in the pits, Zach?
Yeah, he retired in the pit lane, cut the last chicane, and then just completely straight lined it into the pit lane and packed it and called it a day. But yeah, so it looks like Chapelele has re-inherited the race lead. Knuth right on the gearbox of him. Equal ERS between the two. Could Knuth maybe launch an attack? We're into the closing stages of the race now. We've got Sem, Jules and Quicksilver all for P4. Kasizzle sort of in no man's land, just social distance from everyone, and trying to keep it clean till the end of the race. He probably is on for a nice comfortable P3, but Knuth looking to launch an attack on Chapelele. He's trying to maybe get enough ERS, but Chapelele losing a lot of ERS through 130R, and it looks like he's burning a little bit. If Knuth get a good exit, bust up chicane, which he doesn't. He's been doing that all race. He's been struggling to get the power down there all race. He's in the DRS, he's not using overtake, so he's still just trying to save and maybe launch an attack, maybe a little bit later. Jules and Sem, can Jules launch an attack? No, not quite. Can Sem launch an attack? Not quite on this occasion either. It looks like everyone's just sort of sitting back and waiting, and yeah, it doesn't look like the rain's going to get much worse than this, Jamie.
Well, Ginger has caught up to Sahilu, and the gap was 3 seconds. It was one lap or two ago. He's gained 1.7 seconds on Sahilu. That's the difference in the tyres for Ginger, and he'll be under threat soon, will Sahilu. Not in nearly in the DRS range of Ratica. That's the only way you could save him, as Uriad has pitted and it's on a brand new set of softs. And Matt's stayed out there on the intermediates, but it looks like Safei on a relatively brand new set of softs is going to catch him. Here he is then. Carl goes off the track and he locks up, and Obi-Twan has overtook him for P15, sorry. His teammate is up next. He's got Uriad ahead of him, but Uriad's on a brand new set of softs compared to his 18-lap old hard, so I doubt he'll overtake him. He'll just pull away. And Tow Racer's on the back of Ginger. He lets him go. Ginger just conceded the place to Tow Racer. Now they're both in FRL, so I think they're working together because I think, well, he's lost a lot of time because he was 1 point something behind Sahilu. Now he's 2.4, so he's just lost a lot of crucial time. That could be very crucial towards the end of the race. You will catch him, but could that time loss play a major role effect in the last part of the race? Sem's closer to Jules.
He is a lot closer. He's going to launch an attack. DRS, he's running out of ERS to the inside, licks it, sticks it, sends it up the inside into turn one. Bold move there from the McLaren, and just about gets it stopped. Claims the racing line. The Red Bull shaky. Jules are nearly off the track there. Saves that well. Tokyo Drift here in Japan. But Sem finally up into P5 and chasing down his teammate. He finally got that move done. Great move into turn one there. It is so difficult to do. He got four wheels alongside and stuck up the inside. Great move there for P5.
It was a long time coming for Sem. He's been waiting to do that ever since the start of the race, as Cola Killer has joined. No, he could do to disrupt the session. Oh, Sahilu almost lost it coming out of Degda 2. And that's allowed Terror Racer to get even closer and closer. He's 8 tenths behind now, so Sahilu will be under massive pressure. Not only from Terror Racer, but the Ginger as well. So he's got 2 people coming after him. And he's only got about 5 laps left to try and defend from these 2, if he can defend from him. Jeroen Visser, a bit of a stretch. I don't think Jeroen Visser will overtake him or even catch him at this rate. Too far back.
For the moment, further up though, Jamie.
I've
just been on board with her.
I'm sorry. But Ginger, I want to talk about Ginger. He's lost more time. What's happening to him? He looks like he's struggling, is Ginger, on a brand new set of softs. Is he making a few mistakes now and there?
Does cost him quite a lot. I'll stick on board with him maybe just for a couple of laps. It just looks like he's struggling for grip, and why he let his FRL. He's into the pit lane.
Front wing damage?
His tire's gone.
Is it?
Maybe. No, it looks like he's retiring. He's sped into the pit lane. He's retired.
Oh, Ginger. Could have got a point, mate. I don't know what happened. I don't know why he retired.
only a few laps left to go. Probably better just stick it out, surely. But before Ginger started having a bit of a mistake, look like Vapor is starting to use his ERS to launch an attack on Chapelet. Race remaining, but he's finally trying to maybe launch an attack on the Williams for P1. This could go down to the wire, and I'm sure it'll be decided on the final lap of the race, Jamie.
I was trying to... Did you see any full wind damage from Ginger at all?
No, not at all. I didn't see him hit the wall anywhere. Maybe a bit of a slide somewhere, and the tyres are gone. He's decided to call it a day. Who knows? We know nothing. He knows everything. So maybe we could have a word after the race.
I just messaged him to confirm why he has retired.
So just to say, Jamie, Sem has really closed up to his teammate. He's got Quicksilver with an empty battery. Sem launching an attack now. He's opened up. He's let fly, chasing down Quicksilver, coming out the bus stop chicane, trying to get a good exit. Can he launch an attack on the teammate? He's a bit shaky out of the bus stop chicane, setting up this move then for P4 in the DRS, both saving. He's using all of his ERS once again. Can he go for a similar move? To the inside goes Quicksilver, to the outside goes Sem, side by side the two McLaren teammates. There's contact. Quicksilver sent round, amazing Tokyo drift. How he hasn't ended up facing the wrong way, I don't know. Held on to P6 well. Sem round the outside, tried to take the race line, and Quicksilver a little bit caught up. But a great save from the McLaren to keep that going. And he's got Finley all over the back of him.
I had a vision that might happen going side by side into turn 1. Look at the state of those tyres. They might get a poacher towards the end of this race. He's been on his tyres are 16 lap holds as well, so he's got to be careful what he does. He's got Finley behind him on 3 lap younger tyres compared to him. And the rain's even making it worse for them. Might be starting to slip around a bit, add more tyre wear to it. But Vapor, he's been stuck behind Chapelet now in the Italian GP, or was it another? It was the French GP. Zach, he stayed behind. I can't remember who it was. He stayed behind someone the whole race, and he made the move at the very last lap.
And Flash for sector 3. Is that someone retiring?
It's the racing point making a mistake coming out of there.
But I mean, yeah, it is good racecraft. He's sitting back, he's saving his ERS, waiting. He's probably analysing where he's quicker than Chapelet, waiting for the move to make. He's got the DRS, he just needs a good launch off this corner. He's got the DRS. Can he going to use the ERS? He's going to sit behind for another lap, probably going to launch the attack, I'd assume, on 26, maybe even 27. He's got the closing speed. He's just analysing, see where he can make the move, and his best bet, I'd say, if he can get a good exit off the bus stop. This rain is coming down though, and I'm sure it's going to be a very tricky move to make, but he's sticking it with him nice, and he's got a lot more ERS now. He's saving back. He's letting Chapelet push himself into the ground. He's letting his tyres wear out. Vapor's chilling. He's going to launch the attack, and I'm not going to be surprised if we see a move for the race lead pretty soon.
It looks like the rain is coming down even harder. This is bad for drivers who struggle in the wet. And all the tyres are more, example Quicksilver. He's still got Philip behind him. Terror Racer in P9 now. He's got his teammate, like he was at the beginning of the race, 2 teammates together in P8 and P9. So Terror Racer, I think he will overtake his teammates soon, being 10 lap of younger tyres and on the soft compound side. The better tyres at this stage of the race, with the rain impacting him as well. So it looks like he's... Let's see. Will he overtake him now? Nope, too far back. And Finley's on the back of Quicksilver. It looks like Quicksilver. I'm just concerned about his tyre wear. Look at the state of those tyres on Quicksilver.
Yeah, probably a bit of blistering going on between for the McLaren. Vapor as well, closing up to Chapelet. We've got 2 very fierce fights ready to go. We're now coming on to the penultimate lap of the race. The rain's coming down. Chapelet's under pressure. Can Vapor get a good run? And can we potentially see a change for the race lead? He's got a good run. Is he going to activate his ERS? Here we go. This is the moment we've been waiting for. He's activated the battery. Has he got the closing speed down this back straight to go for the move? No. Surprisingly not. He's going to sit back and wait for the final lap. He's going to leave it until the last moment, until Chapelet can't defend it or, do anything about it. So Vapor, he's going to save his ERS for another lap. I really did think we were going to see a change of the race lead. Terror Racer on his teammate as well into the inside, into turn 1, up the inside, the AlphaTauri goes side by side, they go, teammates once again, contact, but he manages to keep it going, cut back from Ratica, however you say his name, we'll just call him Rat. But so close between the 2 AlphaTauris. That's the second time we've nearly seen teammates come together through turn 1, Jamie.
I was on board on the underside of Ratica's car. No, Terror Racer's car. I just see him smash into this teammate. I had a good camera angle on Ratica and Terror Racer as well, so that was really good to see those two. And looks like, who's that car ahead of us? That's Matt. Could he spoil things for Vapor, because if Chapelele gets to the DRS range of Mats, then that is going to absolutely frustrate Vapor. That's the worst thing that could happen to him, because look at that, it's the last lap coming up soon, and if Chapelele does catch Mats, in fact, if he's in 1 second range of Mats, he could get the DRS, couldn't he, Zach?
Definitely could. The back market doesn't look like he's quite close enough though. Vapor opening everything up now. This is the chance. Lick it into the bus stop. Not quite going for it. He's going to save the ERS. Doesn't look like Chapelele is going to get the move done. But here we go then. Down the back straight for the penultimate time. Starting the final lap. DRS. ERS is open. Is he going to go for the move now? Has he got the overspeed? He's going to use his overtake. Come on, use it now. He's not going to be close enough. He didn't use his overtake button. Is he going to launch it into maybe a last lap dash into the bus stop chicane? It'd be so close, but Finley and Quicksilver side by side. They go into turn 1. P6, Finley just soars around the outside of Quicksilver there. He's lost that position with DRS and ERS, unfortunately. But Vapor, yeah, well, what happened there? That could have been his last chance for the race win gone.
Well, I did see the previous lap that Vapor was extremely close to him in sector 3. So his strongest point is sector 3. Is he using that instead of the first corner? Well, we'll find out soon, but he needs to stay in contact with him in the middle sector. I'm going to talk about the middle sector that leads into the last sector. So his strongest point is the middle sector, sorry. So he could send it at the last corner because he was right behind him and didn't use any ERS as well. But is it too late?
Oh, he's going to have to really lick it, stick it and send it. Vapor, but yeah, you can see he's running low on fuel as well. He needs to give it everything into this final sector. Down the back straight into 130R. ERS open. Has he got the move done? Is he close enough, Jamie? I don't think he is. He's used up all his ERS. Is Chapelele going to hang on through thick and thin into the bus stop chicane for the final time? Looks like Chapelele is going to hold on so deep on the brakes though from Vapor. If Chapelele gets a slide, can we see a change to the race lead? No. Chapelele, after 27 laps, is going to come through to win the Japanese Grand Prix, followed by Vapor. So close.
Controller issues for Ginger, because this will finish as a third ahead of Sem. Jules will be finishing in P5 ahead of Finley, who's got a 3-second time penalty. Quicksilver also got a 3-second time penalty. Tow Racer will take P6 ahead of Finley and Quicksilver. So Hillary 10th, and then we've got Jeroen Visser. I bet Vapor must be frustrated because he's been stuck behind him the whole race.
Sees his opportunity and just fell a little bit short in the end, and it looks like Quicksilver and Finley's race decided on penalties. Less than a tenth between P8 and P9. But yeah, with Vapor and Chapelele, he was sitting behind waiting for the opportunity. He left it so late and just couldn't get it done when it mattered.
For the Japanese GP, what a thriller to the end of the race with rain coming in as well. We thought intermediates would be coming in, but it just stayed dry enough for those on the soft compound tyres or medium compound tyres. So that is round 7 done, and we're going to move to the Singapore GP. We've just done the Japanese GP. Alfa Romeo, I think they might still be ahead in the constructors. Yes, they will. So Alfa Romeo will still lead with who finished? Where is he? Williams in P4, too far back. So I think Alfa Romeo will lead the constructors ahead of AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri finished P6 and P9, I believe, or P6 and P7. So they've not got enough points to try and overhaul Alfa Romeo, or have they? Will they lead? What's 8 plus 6? 14, and he's got 18. So 4 points behind is the AlphaTauri team. Yeah, 4 points behind. And that is it, folks, for the Japanese GP. We'll move on to the Singapore. And Zach, mate, long time no see. Thank you so much for commentating with me, mate.
No worries, mate. Hopefully there's more of the same.
And we'll see you all next week at 7 PM for the Singapore GP.
Bye-bye.